Hi there, fellow sea glass lovers. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'm Jackie, and today I am painting turtles. Now, I've been experimenting a bit with painting on my sea glass and on my pebbles, and it's kind of fussy because they don't tend to be flat and it's kind of a shiny surface. So it's a little bit of a fussy process. So I'm trying some new paintbrushes. These are miniature paintbrushes that I got. I'm going to give them a try for the first time, and you can watch me try them out and see what you think. And if you want to give them a try, there'll be a link in my description below where you can order them if you're interested. So I'm kind of excited to try these because the paintbrushes I've been using haven't been that great. So let me show you how to paint on sea glass and pebbles to create turtles. Really sweet. So for this project, I've got 6 kind of roundish type pebbles. I've got 3, I want to make 3 turtles. So I've got 3 bodies and 3 heads that are going to make a kind of big, medium, and small turtle. Then for each turtle, I've got a bunch of I've got 5 pieces of sea glass, 4 for legs, and a kind of triangular shaped piece for a tail. And then I also have a little brown and a green piece of sea glass and a little shell just to decorate it up a bit. And I've got a piece of driftwood, not very big. It's only 1 inch wide and it's about 8 inches long. This one has a couple of holes in the top, so I'm going to use that to hang it with some cord, some little beachy twine here, and paint. I have some light green paint. I have some dark green paint. I have some gold. I have some white. I'm actually going to use a metallic white because I'd like a little sparkle. This is for the eye, and some Payne's gray, which is kind of like a dark gray, almost looks black. So that's what I'm using for paints. I've got a little dish of water, a little rag here. Now my paintbrushes. So these miniature paintbrushes, I'm going to give them a try. This is a new thing for me. And see if they work better than what I've used. So they come in a container, which is really awesome, because then you can put them away and they won't get wrecked. And when you open these up, there's like 15 miniature paintbrushes. And they range anywhere in size from this one. This is like the biggest one. All the way, and they all have these protector things on, which is really key for small paintbrushes. And they go all the way down to, which is the smallest? I think this one's the smallest. Like really, really tiny. So you can do some really fussy work. So let's see how these work. Because these aren't very big objects, I'm going to use this size one, size 0. So I want to do the body of my turtles in the lighter green, and that'll be the base for my turtles. So I'm just going to put a little bit of green here. This doesn't take a whole lot of paint, and I don't want too much. So I'm just going to put a little bit of green paint there, and get my brush wet. And I'm just going to paint the turtle body in green. Oh, these paintbrushes are nice because they have, like sometimes miniature paintbrushes, the, what do you call it? The stick that you hold. I'm sorry, I'm blanking on my words here. That it's really small and it can slip in your hands. And these ones have a really nice shape, so you can hold them nicely. Okay, so I'm going to paint all of my turtles green. So I'm working with acrylic paint here. I really prefer acrylic paint when I'm painting on sea glass or pebbles. You know, it dries quickly and you can pretty well count on the color, and I'm not looking to blend a lot of colors. Because with my turtles, I want to do a couple of layers here. I want it to dry quickly so then I can go on to the next layer. And I want to do the feet and the tails. Now for doing these, I'm going to use the darker green instead of the light green. And I'm not going to go on top of my sea glass. I'm going to paint the bottom of it, and I'm going to try a different paintbrush for this one. I want to do a paintbrush that's kind of pointy because I just want to have a little bit on the bottom here. I'll put these with the painted side down when I glue them on. And then I want the green to kind of show up through from the back. So by the time I've finished painting all of those, the paint has dried and I can just do another thin layer on top just to smooth out the paint a little bit. These paintbrushes are lovely. They are smoothing things out for me really nicely. So I let that dry for a bit, and now I'm going to take some of my gold paint and do some lines on the turtle. And I've picked out one of my paintbrushes here that's got quite a fine tip. Oh, this gives me a nice fine line. You don't want your turtle lines to be very exact because that's not the way turtles are. Yeah, I'm quite happy with these paintbrushes. They're very easy to work with and they flow nicely. So the other thing I want to do with my gold paint is to put the base for the eyes. So I'm going to put 2 eyes that are gold on each turtle head and a little bit of a gold mouth. I like doing cutesy little animals for my grandchildren, and sometimes it just takes a tiny little bit of a speck to add an eye, and all of a sudden these animals go from being kind of cute to really having a personality and a character. And this is where these fine paintbrushes are really working well. The other thing I want to do, my feet and tails, I'm going to flip them over so that the dark green paint shows through. So I'm just going to go on the top of each of these a little bit of a gold outline. These are very small, so you don't need to fuss too much with eyes. And these paintbrushes, just really dab of white. Now I'm going to pick the finest little brush I have here. It just barely has any brush hairs on it. And I'm just going to do one little dot of black for the pupil. And my turtle is all of a sudden got eyes that are alive. So I'm going to use one of my brushes that's a little bit bigger than the one I used for the black, but not quite as big as what I used for the gold. So that's a good size right there. And I'm going to put green spots all over my turtle. And my turtle needs spots not just on his body, but on his head as well. So I have my turtles all painted, and it's time to glue it onto the piece of driftwood. I'm using this Quick Seal adhesive caulk. This is what I like to use for my sea glass and my pebbles whenever I'm gluing, because I find it holds really well. And the way I position my turtles and their feet and their tails is going to give them a little bit of personality. So I want to keep that in mind. Want the feet rubbing right up against them with the little bit of gold sticking out. Now my turtles are finished, and the only other thing I need to do is take this piece of twine and put it through the holes in my driftwood. And then I can hang it up, or I can just leave it sitting on a table or as a little bit of a decorative ornament. And it's all set. So I have used 5 different colors of paint and 5 paintbrushes with various size tips. And I have 3 sweet little turtles with all different personalities. What happens when you use paint on top of pebbles is you get some different personalities because the shape of the turtle heads and bodies are very organic, depending on what you used for a pebble. So I really hope you enjoyed this project, and until next time, I hope you make it out to the beach, and happy sea glass hunting.